Hey there, my name's Evan Ware, and today I'm in pristine Kosovo. You can see the pristine side of Kosovo and the not so pristine side of Kosovo. So it's a really interesting city because there's so much contrast going on. There's like all this money coming in, all this investment, and then you still have like the Soviet era youth sports center that is just kind of dilapidated and still sticking around, which I think is awesome. I love kind of like the Soviet charms. But today I want to talk about starting a bank account in Kosovo. I found nothing about this anywhere, so I had to go to quite a few different banks, and I found out a lot. I found out that I want to go to the big international banks that are all around Europe. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but Rafstein. It's in pretty much every Balkans country. You can't get a bank account there unless you have a residency. And let's just say a residency is something that you don't want to get because there's a big process. I was just thinking, what is the ease of getting a bank account with just having U.S. passport? I mean, if it works for a U.S. passport, it'll work for any passport. So if you have a passport, and what else do they require? So I found out the easiest banks are local banks. We're not talking not so good banks. We're talking about some of the best interfaces, some of the best designed banks are actually surprisingly from Kosovo in Tirana, Albania. So what they require surprisingly is obviously just your passport. And also the one thing that gets a little bit difficult is having a bill. It's not like the US where you need a bill with your name on it. It's just a bill. So they have an address that they can put onto pretty much the paperwork. So all it takes is a water statement, which is pretty much a receipt they throw under anyone's door. So if you were to just grab any sort of bill and just do paperless bill pay, then you'd be fine. Paperless settings, so you would never actually ever get paper or mail to that address. So there's an opportunity with whether you have an address or you don't have an address, you can still get a bank account. Also, I found that the bank account fees really aren't that much. It's about 75 cents to €1 per month. I mean, when you compare that to Albania, where they're charging you about 250, it's a lot. I think it's quite a bit more over there. So if you just want to have an account secured in euros, because the money over here is in euros, it's a very safe place to go for. And you know, one of the things about Kosovo is it's easy to get bank accounts now, but in the future it probably won't. So right now, Kosovo, if you followed all the stuff probably in the 90s, is that Kosovo was at war with Serbia because they wanted their land. Serbia didn't. We bombed Serbia. They let go of Kosovo, but now it's still a disputed border. So as soon as that border gets resolved and Serbia goes, hey, you can have your land back, don't know if that'll happen, then what happens is they're both nomination states for the EU. And once you get into the EU, you get into the EU kind of standard banking practices, which is you need a residency. Typically that's what I've seen. Maybe there's some exceptions to that rule, but yeah. So I would say now getting a bank account in Kosovo is a good investment for the future, just in case it gets much more difficult. It's just a good thing to have in your back pocket. So yeah, if you're thinking about getting a bank account in the Balkans, right here in pristine Kosovo, there's a lot of opportunities to do that. And yeah, just kind of diversify your financial holdings. If you're only in dollar or some other currency, then you can now have euros, and it's a very low fee system. And yeah, I wouldn't wire money in. You could wire or just TransferWise it in, and yeah, just have a little money parked here. I mean, interest rates aren't going to be amazing, like 1 to 1.5%, but it's just good to diversify your holdings, especially from your home country if they decide to try to take all your money, or if you get sued. So just a good thing to have in the long run. All right. Talk to you guys soon.